What's going on, everybody? Chasing Scratch, episode 6. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Scott Hogan. We're coming back at you. We're here on week 6. So excited because in week 5 we logged a 9-hole round under par. That's a good start. Obviously the goal is to get that to happen over 18 holes, but it's something that, you got to take it in pieces. I like to see, like, hey, I've played a couple stretches of 4 or 5 holes under par, then 9, then 12, 15, and then we get into the 18. So now that we have been seeing some good results, the thing we want to do is circle back to kind of where we started, which is we have to evaluate our game, and that's the whole process. It's just one big cycle of doing things. So we have to evaluate what's going on, come up with a plan, implement the plan, and then you compete and check in on it. So last time you saw we did an evaluation by seeing how things were going with tests and, a little bit of on course, but, I didn't have a whole lot of data to sample, so you have to kind of make it up as you go using some of the tools we have available. Now that I've been playing and I keep track of my rounds on Spider Golf, I have the data as we're going, so I don't really need to do the tests as much anymore to evaluate. I can do those in practice, but I don't need to evaluate my game with those. I can just look at my stats and see where we're going. So what we saw from the last couple of rounds was my short game, my wedges, those have actually gone and got into the positive on the strokes gain side. So that's awesome. So what does that mean? Well, that means I've got to look at the other areas where actually driving and my putting have been on the negative side, and they've been, over a stroke negative. So I think it's time to shift, and we need to work on those things in our game. So same thing. What we're going to be doing this week, we want to get into the technical side of, hey, how's my driver swing? And some of the longer shots, I would say, not just driver, but just some of the longer shots. Let's look at how the swing's looking. And then we're going to use the putting and look at that too. And so my feedback right away is going to be video. We're going to take a look at video and see what's going on and analyze it and break it down. So let's get to it. That's a bomb. Now that practice went so good, and I feel so good after a couple of sessions of what's going on. So what I'm going to do is kind of, instead of doing what I normally do, which is practice a lot on that one specific area, I have a round coming up with a student where we're going to play 9, and so I'm not going to be filming that while I'm working with him, but we're going to play that, and then what I want to do is continue on after, because I'll have some time after, and I'm going to film the second part of that, and I'm going to show every single shot, and I'm going to go through it and show it to you as fast as possible so you can kind of see what it looks like, and we're going to get out there and see what's going on, and let you see how it's working on the course, because practice has gone so good. So let's skip through and let's get right to checking it out and seeing how it works out. All right, so we're going to break this round down, getting started on hole 10 here. 180-yard shot, actually hitting a 7-iron here. Better to come up short on this shot than go long and putt back down the hill, so I try to get a 7-iron there. Hit it really good, just didn't quite get it there, but you can see it's a decent spot. You're just putting off this fairway spot, so I would even count this as a green and reg if I wasn't playing it, but get it off to a good start, get it on with a par, and go from there. Then we move on to the second hole. This is actually hole 11. if you're playing at Inwood. So I played the front 9 already with a student. We didn't record it because it was a lesson and we were just working on some stuff. But shot even on that side, so we're continuing on. I decided to continue on after and hit an awesome drive on this par 5. Had 193 in. Hit a 5-iron. Actually did not hit it very well, and kind of happy I didn't because I got pretty close to hole high, and I was just on this fairway cut. Did kind of bobble through the fringe. This putt isn't as much of a gimme as I make it come out to be by showing the graphic early, but it was about a 3-footer with a little bit of break, but did make it, so that's good. And we're off to a good start, taking care of the holes that we should. And then we get to this par 3. This is a 8-iron, 150 yards, and it was into the wind a little, and pulled it a little, so I thought I might go long, but actually was about pin high. It just leaves kind of an awkward putt. You're going to see this putt breaks quite a bit because the green is tilted from back to front. So I've got 3-4 feet here. Back up the hill, though, and that was a good stroke. I have made some changes in the putting stroke and the full swing setup, trying to get taller, get the handle of the club up higher. That helps me turn it over a little bit more. This par 5, your goal is aim down the right side. You don't want to mess with, obviously, there's OB left on the road. I always aim at the right rough and see if I can kind of hit a slang hook in. If I don't, I'm usually in a good spot, although this time I actually had tree issues. So this is a 9-iron. I'm trying to go through the gap in the trees, the 2 trees in front of me. It should easily get over it, but that was my target line. You can see I lose it a little right, which ended up being okay. I'm left with a little wedge shot, 80 yards, and I didn't hit my 60 here. I hit a 54, but I just juice it here and pull it as well. So that ball's going to be long. And we're going to be left with, but it's not the worst chip. And so here's a little shot that people don't use. This is just a pitching wedge, and I'm basically just treating it like a putt, try to land it a few feet on, and then read it and see it go rolling down there, and almost made it. And then you get a nice look. You get to watch the ball roll past as you come back for your comebacker to clean it up. And we get out of a par, kind of scrap one out there as we go. And then we're on to one of the holes that can give some trouble. This is a par 3, 194 yards. This is a par 3 that is not the biggest green, and they added this tee in. So this hole's a pretty tough one now. And if you're like me, I'm pin high, I'm right. And this shot, I actually am trying to land it about a foot short of the green edge. I don't want to land on the green and try to kill it. But when I hit it, you can see as soon as I hit it, I react, and I absolutely flushed it. It didn't come out how I thought it would. Came out very hot. So I've got like 15, 18 feet now. In classic fashion, I leave it short, right, pretty much going right in, and we'll make bogey. So not the worst bogey. Don't like making bogeys, but, it's not the worst one. Coming to one of the holes that can give a lot of trouble to people. This one, dogleg hard to the left. If you lose it at all right, it's usually pretty open, but you're going to have a long shot in. I actually hit that one really well, but straight. But you can see I go through the fairway and leave this 9-iron out to the right. Actually had the distance really well and ended up in this fairway cut. Got some green to work with, but, so we'll see. So here's a 60 degree. I'm just trying to trap it and draw it, so I can get it to roll out a little bit. And hey-oh, it worked out. Get a little bit of lucky break there just to make a hole out, but it was a good chip. And, so heading into a stretch of holes where you feel like, all right, we can get something done. This is kind of the last hole that you're afraid of here at Inwood, which is trying to get this ball around that corner out of that chute. I did. This is actually a 9-iron as well. 159 yards, but you can see I hit this thing. This jumped out of the rough. It had to go 170, 175 yards, and it leaves me a putt that is tough. When you have a pin on the front on this green, it's very easy to putt it off. Now, knowing that, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to chicken out and hit it and leave it 10 feet short. I'm going to get it there and have good touch. And that's when you just juice it, and guess what? I putted off the green. So it's not the worst thing. At least I got it down there, and I am putting back up the hill, but obviously never good when you're going to putt it off the green and be 18 feet away. And this one, again, was tracking, just left it short, and we're going to walk off with a bogey. Never like having 3 shots with the putter on any hole. Never feels good. So 17th hole, this one, your goal is to hit a controlled slice. You have to move it left to right if you're going to hit driver, and you have to move it a lot. So this ball is curving right, but that was on purpose. I actually hit this one really well, trying to slice it around, which you can see it ends up in a really good spot for a nice little flip wedge, which I've been working on for the whole series. And I actually hit this one awesome. I love the flight. I just landed it right at the pin, and then that's going to kick, 15, 18 feet beyond. And that's not what we're looking to do. We're trying to land it short and let it release up there. So we got a little longer putt than I want. And you know what? This one's going to swing pretty hard to the left, especially at the end. So I had to play it out there. But honestly, this was my favorite stroke of the day for the putter. And I hit a really good putt. It just didn't break until right after the hole went right around it. So, oh well, good hole. A lot of good shots. Just didn't get the birdie on that one. So we come to 18, and this is one we always feel like you should get. 295 straight ahead. This was the worst driver swing of the day, and it kind of gets a little bit dicey on the right side. You can get a good break, or you might get some tree trouble, but usually you can play from there. And you can see I have a look. The best thing I did on this shot was I actually shot where I wanted to land the ball. So I'm not even thinking about the 59 yards to the hole. I'm thinking about 44 yards to about a third of the way on the green, which I hit pretty money here. And actually, this was a great little wedge shot, which left me a really nice putt. For me, this was big. I really wanted to shoot under par. Conditions were good. It's a little humid, but that's it. Very, very calm. And the course is in great shape. So loved the stroke, and I was extremely excited to get that one in under par. That was important. So love the changes that we're making. They seem to be working, feeling good, and we're going on the right track. All right, so a great week, great to get out and play. One of my favorite things about doing this is just, hey, I'm excited to get out and play again and see how things are going. So that's really cool. And, so we posted that round. Nice to get an 18-hole round under par. Again, feel like I'm really, waiting to get something to go really low. But, we're going in the right direction. And so we'll fire it up. Let's see what the update is. And we're keep going down now. We are at... we can show it 2.5. So, 2 strokes off in less than 2 months, which, so I've cut my handicap in half. And you can see majority of that was by doing our wedges, short game, stuff like that. I am putting. I thought the putting was better when I look at the stats from the round. Let's pull those up really quick. Off the tee, only lost 1/10 of a shot. I was losing over a shot before. Long shots, losing 2/10. Again, it's about the same. Approach to the green, we are still above. We are gaining strokes, 0.38 gain. Around the green, 0.077, so we're not even at 1/10 there. That's probably because I had the one chip where I actually, it hit like 15, 18 feet. And then putting, actually gained strokes putting. So that's interesting. Probably because I did make a few more from like that middle range. So that's good to see. Again, we do all the work and see it all pay off. It is, it is really nice. So that's what we're going for. That's what we keep chasing. So we got 2 more weeks of it. We're going to see where we go. I say at this point, the plan's probably going to be playing a lot of golf. And just keep dialing it in, doing the same things and seeing how much we can get out of it. So, thanks for watching. Tune in for next week, and we'll see you then. Peace.